Sanibonani ipene elimnyama. Dumelang ipene enso. I saw a very disturbing video yesterday of a bunch of what looked like South Africans attacking someone that is alleged to have been an illegal foreigner in Durban. Looked like it was outside Spa. Angazi noma you can say bus station. Ngizwe Mchunu was there looking like he was leading the people, and the people were angry and they were chanting, you know, Utamakwarakwere must go, a derogatory term for illegal foreigners. The guy was being beaten so badly, whipped, punched, slapped, very gruesome, very brutal. If a case has to be opened, it will be assault with the grievously bodily harm. Then I saw another video of people that looked like they were protesting in the streets. I don't know where that was, but the person who was making the video was speaking a language I don't understand. People insinuate that it's a non-South African language. And there were ladies that were standing there, and I don't know if it was a white or a colored lady that was attacked by a man who looked colored as well, or maybe non-South African. Julius Malema posted a video with Ngizwe Mchunu in it. I saw Musi Maimane of Bossa speaking out against crime and violence, saying South Africans have a right to speak out against illegal immigration, illegal foreigners and the immigration issues, but violence is not how we do it. The foreigners' situation in South Africa is complicated. What is not complicated are the people to be blamed. That's very simple. South Africa is a so-called sovereign nation, has got laws, constitution and various laws, including the Immigration Act. If a non-South African was to come into South Africa, they're either coming as a tourist, of which you get a tourist permit or visa. I think that lasts 30 days. You can get a study permit, you can get a work permit, and then if you've got, I think it's 5 million rand, you can apply for a business license as a foreigner, and you can operate here. There are many foreigners in South Africa who are here legally, whether as tourists, because Zimbabwean, Malawian, Ghanaian, Nigerian, they can come here and visit anytime for 30 days and leave. Come back 30 days, they are allowed. There are a lot of foreigners from America, North, South, a lot of foreigners from all parts of Europe, a lot of foreigners from Asia, whether it's the western side, your India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, or your eastern, China, Japan, Korea, etc. It's difficult to know who's here legally and illegally. It's very difficult, generally. With that being said, if you want to settle here, outside of getting the legalities that I gave you, you can also apply for refugee status. You can be an asylum seeker, which have been very controversial, and no one is speaking now about the Palestinians that landed here without approval. Gift of the givers welcomed them, they were given aid, etc. We don't know what's happened to them now. The ZEP, the Zimbabwean permits, have been extended again. Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, when he was still Minister of Home Affairs with the ANC, extended them, people were upset. Dr. Leon Schreiber, under the DA now with the GNU, Minister of Home Affairs, has extended them for another year. People are upset. South Africans are angry. South Africans are poor by and large. They are struggling. They are dealing with people that are trafficking human beings, children, people that are pushing prostitution, people that are selling drugs, people that are causing violence, killing people, assaulting women and others. And some of these people are foreigners, and some of these people are illegal foreigners, and it's really, really upsetting me. There's an arrogance from some of the foreigners on the ground. Specifically, I'll mention Zimbabweans and Nigerians being very vocal. I've heard them myself in the way they speak down on South Africans, and black South Africans in particular. With that being said, most South Africans generally don't really hate foreigners. That's why they comfortably buy from their spaza shops. That's why they get foreigners to do their hair, cut their hair. That's why they get foreigners to look after their children. That's why they take their children to creches with and schools with foreign teachers. There are South Africans who are dating foreigners, who are married to foreigners. Again, this includes Europeans, Americans, Asians. It's not just African. There are mixed race kids with Asian, American, European blood. We can see them. The South African government, and now it's the GNU, it was the ANC before. ANC, DA, PA, IFP, PAC, Rise Mzansi, Good, not sure, Freedom Front Plus, might be forgetting one or two others. These guys are meant to enforce the laws, and they're meant to, when they see their citizens upset, speak to them, listen to their grievances, and see how they can resolve them. They are not doing that. The president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, only comes out to threaten South Africans to say, if you are committing acts of vigilantism, taking the law into your own hands, you will be punished. He doesn't speak out condemning illegal foreigners. He doesn't come out calling out his fellow leaders, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi, Lesotho, Nigeria, Ghana, the Congo, and other places, to say, guys, your people are here and they are frustrating my people. And a lot of them are here illegally so, and some are involved in criminal activities. He's not doing that at all. Himself and the other leaders, including the Minister of Home Affairs. The police on the ground accept bribes to turn a blind eye. They are aware of foreigners that shouldn't be here. Sometimes they stop them, they ask for their papers, and they don't get papers, they bribe them. Or rather, they ask for a bribe and they accept bribes, and then they let them carry on going. The foreigners have become used to it. They'll say, look, we bribe the police, we know, but we're also just trying to live a life. Where we come from, it's tough. I forgot to include Somalia and Ethiopia. The people at Home Affairs, your cousins, your brothers and sisters, your aunts and uncles, are there at Home Affairs selling fake documents? Are there at Home Affairs giving people fake ID cards, permits, and they're asking for big monies? Tens of thousands of rands. I've bumped into foreigners in South Africa. Some are like, I came in here legally, and there's a huge backlog at Home Affairs. And it's like the people, they are not trying to help us. If anything, they keep asking for bribes to say, we'll give you a temporary permit, but just give me this money. But they don't want to give us proper documentation, which we are applying for and we're waiting, and then we get treated as if we're here illegally, which we're not. And we get bunched into the criminal elements of which we're not involved in crime. Our people at Home Affairs are involved in that. Our people at border control, at the borders, are taking bribes to let people through. Taking bribes to let people move, even contraband in and out, stolen goods and weapons and. We do not have fences around South Africa. We don't. Someone must go make a documentary from Namibia all the way to Mozambique, Eswatini, and even around the whole perimeter of Lesotho to show us the so-called borders and the fencing between South Africa and our neighbors at the very least. Someone must go to the airports, OR Tambo being one of them, but you can also add Cape Town International, you can add King Shaka International in Durban, and show us, how do you guys process when illegal people come here? How do planes just land, like the plane that landed with Palestinians without approval? Show us how people are also being smuggled in and out of here, because there were people stopped at the airport that shouldn't have been here as well. Show us. There's no fencing, there are no borders. Our government is entrusted to do that. I am confident in this theory that the South African government and many of the political players get paid a lot of money by illegal foreigners to come to South Africa, set up businesses, get tenders. There were tenders that were received even in the city of Joburg, and push criminal activities by bribing politicians to keep quiet and turn a blind eye. I believe that a lot of our politicians and government officials speak to the other African and the other European and Asian and American leaders, and they don't raise these things at all, because some of the drugs come from the Americas. Some of the biggest drug dealers come from Europe. There may be drug dealers from Asia, I'm not sure, but some of the business people, even how some of the Chinese stores, your China malls, your China cities, we don't know if the people there really have documentation, if they bribed to get those documents. There have been stories in Newcastle, my hometown in Taiwan, where some of the people that run the textile industries there are trafficking human beings. They are hiring illegal foreigners and the like. I won't be surprised if it's happening in the Joburg CBD as well. Illegal foreigners are taking over CBDs in Gukomposeti, Islanda Nemonti, in Epai, Port Elizabeth, Gqeberha, and many other places. Places in Joburg like Yeoville, Hillbrow, Berea, Jeppes Town. Sunnyside in Pretoria and many others are overrun by foreigners that I know for sure are not here legally because they're not studying. They are not tourists. They have homes and they have families there. Whatever business they're running is not a business that they got a permit for. I'm sure of it. So there are bribes and the like. So I'm raising this again to highlight the complexity of the matter, but the simplicity of the people responsible. Government, police, home.
As South Africans, if you are not careful, the politicians, they're going to pit us against one another or each other. The politicians, the ANC, be it EFF, listen to their language. EFF started saying, yeah, after they are done with foreigners, they're going to be fighting tribal wars. They're going to be asking, are you paid? Can you speak Zulu? Are you Shangan? Mbalula is coming saying, yeah, but abawafuna mashangane. He understands. What are they saying? The fight is about illegal immigration. Kumbuzo, also bringing the element of tribe. And I also caution the guys in KZN, ukuthi bafethu, desist from Hlangana Zulu. I've been saying it, telling people, calling them, ukuthi bafethu, remove tribe because you are playing into the hands of the government. The government of the day during apartheid, they also mobilized the Zulus in the 70s, hostile dwellers against communities, BCM. During the IFP-ANC violence, it is not the ANC or IFP leaders, members, top members who died. It is me and you. I lost friends. Now they are doing the same. Fermenting, creating a conflict that does not exist. They've got their agents, fools, recruiting Zamazamas. Knowing the history of Zamazamas in South Africa, they are armed. Even the police are scared of them. The Zamazamas who raped children in Krugersdorp. The Zamazamas who killed Khumbudzo Diale. Same people who were there when Khumbudzo Diale was killed, who led Khumbudzo Diale to his death. They are now recruiting the same Zamazamas. But no, we must defend against the issue of immigration. Mena, I don't put tribe into this issue. I condemn people using tribe. This is a South African issue. This is not the Basotho issue. This is not the Zulu issue. This is not Hlangana Shangane, Hlangana Zulu. We know if you don't tackle the issue of immigration, the demographics are changing. These people will swallow us. They're taking everything that we want. The whole continent is coming here. We cannot keep up our birth rate. Everything, health, housing, education, infrastructure construction, everything. So the ANC, they're trying to bring element of tribe so that we fight each other. The pedis, you say, no, bambulelo ngoba ishangan, bambulelo ngoba ukhuluma isitsonga. Even though, in a struggle, mistakes are going to happen. Just as they happened when the ANC called for armed struggle. Not all who died were their enemies. Innocent people got hurt. During the nucleus, students made mistakes. Mistakes happen. People were banned, wrongfully so. Even namanje, mistakes are going to happen. Some South Africans, abanye bazothi we foreign hamba, only to find ukuthi umuntu is a South African. I'm mistaken, misidentified all the time. Even 96, when the traders in Johannesburg were fighting local and foreigners, some of them, they approached me by group. We were fighting, pushing, until one guy recognized me from catalogs, adverts, fashion magazine. He said, no man, Chindande out ngayaz. We're struggling, ngiphethe ibheke enkulu. So it will happen. But if you listen to the ANC guys, they are trying to bring tribe. And there are some people who are fermenting it, going on all sides. That's why I'm saying, knowing the history of this country, IFP violence, ANC, tribal issues. Thina makasi asina tribalism. Abantu basemakhaya abaza nge-tribalism. Masesikhuluma ivara, emakhaya asina tribalism. We integrated, siyazwana, siyuza infrastructure one, facilities I1. It's like this. The same way they did 2021. I remember 2021, guys were protecting our malls. They come with that, no, we are defending, the infrastructure, the malls. They're lying this time around. They want to shift the attention from illegal immigration because they've taken monies. They're defending their private interests outside the country, even here inside the country. When they were defending malls, 2021, they were not defending malls, they were not defending jobs. People who are working in the malls are not South Africans. People who own malls like Maponya Mall, Bori defined 51%, they are not South Africans. They are ANC comrades. The 30% that's supposed to go to communities, local women, people with handicap, they're supposed to benefit. Imagine if all the 30% in the malls development, that money was going to local schools in the neighborhood, developing in neighborhoods. No, it goes to all these puppets of theirs. Abo Cyril, Abo Deep Leaf Mall. I was arrested for that, and then they wanted to put treason, saying I could say Akshawama politicians, they said I said that. Did I say that? That's a question mark. But these guys, they are trying to coup. And I asked these guys, I phoned them about to do that. Guys, it's all good in these institutions, Zama politicians. But while you are still there, negotiate 30%. Negotiate security jobs that they give you tenders, cleaning, because their security obviously it was not adequate. Cleaning, jobs. Some got paid. Komaponya got approved by mall administrators, banokana. Abanye bathatha imali yamaPakistani, banokana. But in the main, they were protecting the ANC percentages and these foreign companies. Now they are coming, recruiting amazamazama. Like I said, knowing history amazamazama, the rapes that happened, Ugastorp, Khumutso Diale in Pimville was killed. Those who are now in this forefront, they know there were people who led Khumutso Diale to his death, was killed by illegal foreigners. We know illegal foreigners, irrespective of where they come from. And there's this question, the Lesotho, Swaziland, Botswana. Culture is, the same. We've got relatives all over, and it's all good. But as a country, Lesotho should decide. Swaziland, Botswana, whether they're independent or not. Their people work here. They get their salsa here, RDPs here. They refuse to be part of South Africa during the Mandela era. They said South Africa is not a big brother. They are not a province of the South Africa. They are independent. But they want to claim this country. No, we get water from Lesotho. We built that dam. And we also support Lesotho by everything. They can take their dam, Mabafone, and Nabo Swaziland. We've been loaning Swaziland man, supporting countries, But in the main, politicians are benefiting. They're using tribe. Bamamela bokhumbuzo. Abo Ramaphosa. Even 2021, Ramaphosa want to know about Bafana Mavenda. No, we don't think like that. This is a South African issue against foreigners who are taking everything, infrastructure destruction, taking properties, hospital beds, education, spaces for our kids, drugs, prostitution, human trafficking, bringing bullshit cultures that you don't know here. I support anyone and everyone because not everyone is a Malcolm X or Stephen Biko. Those guys, they left us shoes too big to fill. Even if the person who's pushing the issue is a pretender, a part-timer, because it's not every day that my issue is on the agenda. So these guys, they want to confuse us. They want to confuse us. But this is a tribal issue. That's why I'm cautioning people. Stop using Bohlangana Zulu. Stop saying Kibasuthu. And Abazamazama. Since when Abazamazama, they are South Africans? Since when? We know each other, Tina. Basotho, Zulu, Xhosa, Tsonga. People of Mozambique. They are people of Mozambique. Mozambique. When people say Ngamashangani, we know what they mean. They don't mean Tsongas. Yeah, in Limpopo. But the ANC, they're trying to confuse the people so that we fight amongst ourselves while they neglect this issue. They're foreigners because they've taken the devil's money. And they've got their agents hanging around. Rise against this one. Rise against Basotho. This issue, we've been pushing about 2008, some of us. won't allow ukuthi be diluted by ninkampunks taken monies. Abanye bathatha imali kuma malls, Pakistani knocking each other. They phone me, but what are you saying? I'm saying South Africa first. Stop confusing people.
We do not own our economy. South Africans mustn't think we own the economy of. We don't. I can go on very simply and explain. When you do an audit right now, you will find that the majority of companies from Cape to Cairo here, they are Euro-American companies. That did not start today. They started from the 14th century. Dutch East India Company. It might not use the same name, but it's the same money when you do an audit. Africa has no sovereignty. Its sovereignty is normative, it's vulnerable, it's weak, and it's conditional. Why do I say that? Look at all the members of the United Nations Security Council. They're all nuclear powers. Now, what is the essence of owning nuclear weapons? It's not just to go and bomb, because there will be mutual assured destruction of everyone. It acts as a deterrent. Now in Africa they can do as they please because we do not have that deterrence.
Because they've taken it away. They've taken it away.
They've taken it
away.
Now let me give a real example that has happened now in this 21st century. They went ahead, the imperialists, and kidnapped the president of a country. Not only the man himself of a sovereign country, regardless of his politics, it's a sovereign state. Maduro and his wife. Can you imagine? And his wife. He's in jail as we speak. Where's the free enterprise? Where's the upholding of international law by America? It's not there. They don't care. Because we are powerless, there's nothing we do. That is first thing. Number one, they've just imposed an illegal war in Iran. To hell with the United Nations. Now, those who are intelligent in Africa, not just South Africa, that is a red flag. It exposes us. If you are intelligent, like you're saying, if there's intelligence in intelligence, that's a red flag. What happened to Gaddafi?
Most of our leaders in our country don't put their countries first. They put themselves first, they harvest, and they bank their wealth offshore, not even in country. So this notion of blaming others, we need to stop and take stock and take responsibility. And until we take responsibility and we stop being tribal, we stop being racial, we stop being ethnic, we embrace our humanity, and we say it's about allegiance to Africa, irrespective of who you are. So, I remember we were raised through black consciousness, and the way Steve Biko described it said, for the purposes of black consciousness, a black man can be white, and a white man can be black.
A black man can be white, and a white man can be black.